Okay, here we go. We're live. Hi guys, welcome to the Tuesday Tat Chat. I'm here with Zahir. How are you, mate?
Hi Nick, I'm good. Good to see everyone already in the chat, I think. But yeah, it's been a pretty busy day, just trying to keep, listing and that kind of thing, because I keep on forgetting about doing that. So,
It's easily done. Hang on, I
what?
pause my video. Yeah, I managed to pause it before I started talking to myself. Yeah, so you got some listing done today then?
Yeah, I'm trying to be a bit off grid so I can get some work done. And I get distracted really easily. So, and I've managed to actually get myself. I dropped under 600 listings, and this has happened since like Beck's gone and started to build the second store, which predictably she's already shot from 0 to 250. And then there's me who was on about 800 and something, and it's dropped to below 600. And I thought, oh, I'd better pull my finger out here. So it's
But is that due to sales though? You see, if you drop down,
um
it can be a good thing.
well, yes, it was some sales, but then like we've had trash sales. Like last couple of weeks, it's been absolutely, I've told you about this already. It's been pretty rank. But
I think it
it
has
kind
for
of
a lot of people.
yeah.
I think it's been a
Yeah, but
really
it's been
dodgy
really
month.
bad. It's been really bad.
Yeah,
Like really like weekends where you sell like one item for like £3 for the day and that's it, you're done. So that kind of
and
bad.
that's brown pants time, that is, isn't it?
Oh, it can be, but I think we're finally at the stage now where we're like, um, I don't think it phases us now. We're kind of like, yeah, it's yeah. We as long as you know what the reason is, I think that helps. Like if you know what the why it's happened like that, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's not it wasn't like it's a big surprise to us and we were all shocked about it. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the thing.
Cool, you're hanging in there. I'm just going to pop
Yeah.
in the chat. There's lots of people that have popped in. We'll say a few hellos quickly.
Yeah.
Who was first in today? Kieran was first in today. Mr. Body Oil, Chelsea, Andrew Robinson. Hi guys. Richard Panzer, Red Dragons, Lee Michelle. Lots and lots of people. David Morse is in there. I didn't pay up on anything today, David. Steve Green, Fin Fashion Plus. So welcome along. We don't have a guest this week. This is one of our sort of make it up as we go along chats. We're just going to see what I thought we had a subject. I vaguely remember a conversation, and both of us have completely forgotten what we decided we were going to chat about.
When it comes to remembering stuff, I am so bad. I actually feel that I might have something wrong with me because I forget things like
Well,
almost instantly.
I might have
So,
dripped the conversation. That sounds
no, I'm
way too
sure we
nice
did.
for us. Did we actually have a
Yeah,
conversation about
I
the chat
think
beforehand?
we may have done. I think that's as far as I can remember. But
We
if we did, that's a step in the right direction,
Yeah.
Nick, isn't it?
So everyone out there, we tried to get organised and get a subject on the go, and then forgot about it. So that's as far as we got. So if you've got any questions or topics, we can have a go at covering those. There's a couple of things I wanted to share first off before we get into things. Let's see who else has popped in quickly. Darren's in there. Koss, Simon. Hi guys, Ashley. Vinny's in there.
Vinny, yeah.
Amanda, lots and lots of people. So welcome aboard. Zahir actually spotted this little guy just before we went live. Now, did you shared your helmet in one of your
I
stories,
have.
didn't you?
Yeah, I did share my helmet. You just said that, Nick.
I like talking about my helmet.
Yeah, yeah.
I picked this up today. Is that what you had? Is that the same as what you had?
That is a magnificent helmet. It's very similar, except my helmet is more sought after.
Or is it? Yours is more desirable.
Mine's the more desirable variation of helmet you'll find.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I'm just putting it out.
To be fair,
Yeah.
my helmet is a bit messed up.
It's,
But it was in a 50p rummage box, right? So
oh wow, 50p. That's fantastic. That is
the
a bargain.
helmet strap. I don't know if you're going to see, but one side of this is missing. This fixture here.
Oh right.
So that's broken. It hasn't got batteries in, I don't think, or they run out of juice. So I haven't tested it yet. But I figure for 50p, even if just voice artwork,
yeah.
somebody will buy that to repair one.
Even if none of it works, people are buying them because people buy them to complete their costumes, and some people buy them for display pieces. Like the one I've got is the red version, which is like the Supreme Leader one.
Okay.
And again, another shout out to Darren here. Like I've been doing that a lot on my channel recently, but Darren actually just said something quite simple the other day, but try contacting them. And for example, I got the replacement. You're missing the eye stalk that sticks out the front.
Oh right.
I got one of those. Yeah, sent to me, free shipping, £7.25. In the post from Character Options. And that, I mean, obviously depending on whether you can get the other bits that are missing or whatever, or as long as the strap's not such a big deal, but I mean,
it would be. I thought that when I picked it up, but if you look here, it's actually smashed here, the bit where it would slide up here and grip. So I think even if you could get a replacement like this part, I don't think it would hold in. So I'm probably gonna test if the voice manipulator thingy works, and then sell it.
And the lights flash. Yeah.
They flash today as well. Yeah,
those flash when you talk.
Man.
There's 3 buttons because they're quite well hidden. On the front, there's on the front with the black grill. There's 3 tiny buttons, and those are the ones that operate it. Yeah, they're really because it took me ages to find those buggers. So
I haven't noticed that.
So I think the bottom one is what does the voice activation bit. I mean, I put mine up at a really high price while I was waiting for the eye stalk to arrive, but I've got mine on at like £100 now. I mean, it's got a few watches, so someone might make an offer.
That's what I knew. I'd seen you talking about it, and I just remember thinking, Jesus, that's an expensive price. So when I saw it there, especially in a 50p rummage box, I thought, busted.
Well, I mean, I paid £4 for my helmet, and then
you can't say that word without sniggering.
Well, who can? I paid £4 for my helmet, and then I had to pay £7 to get the extension on it.
Darren says Z polishes his more often. Yeah, that's right.
Oh God, I love helmet chat.
We've got options for what we could chat about. The subject could be my loft again. Let's not go there. We're not going there.
There's quite a few comments about the new shop pricing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've seen that. I think
that's new to me.
I think apparently I did see it as well. Actually, Simon Mitchell asked the question first about the shop pricing, because I think they sent out like a sneaky email, and it didn't actually go to my inbox. It went to like the promotions folder on Gmail, like the spam box, as it were. And I had to look. I just noticed it said eBay like seller support or something. And they've upped the prices for everything. I think it's now £25 for the entry shop, whereas it was 20. I think the middle shop, which is what I'm on, is now going up to £69. And I'm not sure what the
That's what Kieran just said. Actually, 69 for a featured store, which is what I have as well.
Yeah. So it's going up, but we're going to be getting those vouchers for buying eBay logoed tape and boxes. That's something that the Americans have had now for a while, I think.
Oh right. So how does that work?
We're going to get £10 a month
free stuff, or
we're going to get £10 a month vouchers for being in the middle store, which we can then spend on supplies. I'm not sure what the supply store is or what the prices are. I mean, for all we know, it might be that it's completely overpriced.
Exactly.
Which would make sense, wouldn't it? But
okay.
It's I mean, it's not great that the price has gone up, but
it shows how in touch I am. That is literally the first I'd heard about it. But then today was a washout for us. We spent the vast majority of the day sitting around in waiting rooms in hospitals. I won't go into it, but we had Andrea had to go to hospital. She's fine, but it was quite a stressful day. And then to make ourselves feel better, we went to about, I don't know, 6 or 7 charity shops, and Andrea made out with bags full of clothes. So
that's good. I didn't know.
Retail therapy afterwards was fun.
So you say she's okay then? It was
fine. Yeah, she doesn't really want
just
to talk about it.
checkups.
If she
No, of
does,
course,
she'll
of
talk
course.
about it in a hangout. But yeah, she's absolutely fine and very happy
Oh, okay.
at the side of it, shall we say?
And the bit of retail therapy afterwards. Good old
Exactly.
charity shop style.
Yeah, and I managed to
Yeah.
find this guy. Don't know if you can see here.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Mine's falling apart, but I'm keeping mine. This is now Andrea's twin to my
Okay.
one. They're not
Okay.
cheap. That's
They,
it's an actual hopper one, and they're about 30-40 quid, and we got it for a fiver. We went in a charity shop, and this lovely old man came in, arms of bags full of stuff, and that was like with him, and I assumed it was his that he was using, and then he went and just left it, and I thought, oh, is he coming back for that or whatever? And he never came back. So eventually I said, how much is that? And she said, oh yeah, he's donated it. It's a fiver. So happy days. I love those.
That's a pretty good pickup. Yeah, yeah. Some of them have got really epic names on them as well. Like some of the brands that they have, they give them really great names. Like I don't know, the General or something. I don't know, but yeah, those are quite cool.
It doesn't make you look any more cool if it's called the General. You still look like a numpty pushing one around, but I don't care.
I had a couple of pickups today. They're not unfortunately here. I'll probably stick them up in the vlog tonight or something. But
well, it's funny. Andrew bought loads today. She found some really good sale rails and found some great stuff, like another Yumi dress and some vintage bits and bobs. I found that thing, a Mario Galaxy for £1 and a book. That was it.
Not as much.
I got 3 things, and she got about 5 carrier bags full of clothing.
Well, as long as it all ends up in the same business, as it were. So
it's all good.
It's all good. Let's have a look. What other comments we got in here? Yeah, a lot of people are talking about the costs. I mean, when it comes to costs going up, it's just you just take it, don't you? Really, there's not a great deal you can do about it. It's just that is what it costs.
I'm afraid so.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not worth. It's not really worth getting too worked up about it. Obviously, you may dispute eBay's kind of logic or reasoning about the value they're providing you for the cost, but where else are you going to go to sell your secondhand stuff to such a large?
Prices inevitably go up over time anyway. It's like Royal Mail's prices. They will slowly creep up. You know what I mean? Everything inevitably follows inflation and will go up. eBay fees eventually will go up in general. So yeah, it's something we can't really affect or avoid. So concentrate on the things you can affect. Yeah, there's a lot of chat about the fees.
There you go. RuneScape Mers has a good question. Hi, I just wanted to ask a question. I've been running my own eBay business for around 8 months now, and I was just wondering what you do to stay motivated to keep listed. I feel like I burn out a lot. It's common, but it's a good thing to talk about.
It's something that I think particularly Zahir and I do battle with, is keeping going, keeping the numbers up and keeping the listing going. But I don't know. I suppose your motivation, if you're full-time, as we are, the motivation is you kind of have to.
Bills need to get paid. Yeah.
You kind of bottom line is you need to do it to get paid. I mean, if you're part-time, I suppose you need to find your own way of motivating yourself. If you can find a way to enjoy it, certain parts of the process I really enjoy, so I try and focus on those. Sorting out stock, actually, I quite enjoy when I get into it. Doing photography, I quite enjoy. It's just the listing bit that always needs a bit of a shove for me to get into. But yeah.
I think I think in most cases that's the same. Everyone loves going out and researching things. Everyone likes finding things. I think that those are always, what people enjoy doing, and in a way that comes through when you're making videos about reselling as well. You'll often see that when you do like a haul video or a sales video, those will often pick up a lot more views. I mean, I've never tried doing just like a listing video, but I'm guessing if I did just do a video where I'm just sitting there listing items, I'm not sure it would do as well as ones where I'm going, hey, check this out. Huh?
I think it would, because I've been asked, I've lost count of how many times people have said, Nick, can you do a video showing me your process of listing an item, and I always said no, because I used to use listing programs that not many people used. It was a Mac only program I used. I've dumped all of that now anyway, so I list direct onto eBay, so I could do that. The trouble is, I don't do anything magical. I don't do anything special. As I'm sure
that's what I mean. It'd be a bit. It might be a bit of an anti-climax. You know, people
would,
might
but
get,
then again, it would show the reality.
Out and, you know, to see.
It would show the reality that all I have access to really is exactly the same tools as anybody else. It's just the grind of doing it. That's all it is.
I think it would be, yeah, I think it would be interesting to see how a video like that would do. Say if you sat there and did like 50 listings, just did 50 listings.
Oh my God, how long do you want this to be?
I don't know. It would have to be quite an epic, but you know, it would have to be, you know, but I think it's difficult to get across. It can be very time consuming. I mean, you can do things to quicken it up, obviously, like, you know, you're listing templates and things make things easier. I mean, I was listing, I mean, I thought about this a lot, but I had a bunch of PlayStation 2 games and I ended up just listing them individually, even the absolute like dregs that you normally wouldn't, because I just accrued all these games over the months when I've been buying consoles and they've been coming with 5 or 10 games here and there. Been selling the consoles and the controllers off, and then I've been left with these games. So I figure that, you know, I worked out the fees because I don't pay 3.4% plus 20p. You pay a bit less because you do a certain amount of turnover a month, because you can ask PayPal for a reduced fee rate. So I worked it out with that fee rate, and I worked out with the correct fees, which is 8% with the shipping, and you still can make like with free shipping, even on a £3 game, you'll still clear like a quid. Obviously you have to take into account your envelope cost as well, but it still clears like £1. And it's not anything special, but I feel, why not? You know, if I give it away, if I bundle it, I'm going to get less than half that value. You know, I'm not going to get £1 for it, or, you know, and that's in the worst case scenario. A lot of the games are like £3.99 or £4.99 or £5.99 rather than £2.99, which I looked at the worst case. You know, I thought if I look at the worst, because I won't say sell anything really below like £2.99 or I don't know, £2.50 at the lowest, but
£2.99 tends to be, as a similar logic, £2.99 for stuff I've ended up with that owes me absolutely nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Just about worth doing a £2.99 free shipping game
if it's quick.
But only just, and I do that to clear DVDs, but you are clearing £1 at best. And sometimes I just think I might as well just trade it to Music Magpie and get 30p. But yeah, £2.99 is my lowest.
Lowest, yeah. I mean, I think like with the once you've created.
Oh, your mic's gone. That was
has
this week.
Bloody hell!
It sounded.
It's not my mic. It's not the mic. It's Google Hangouts.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's hold on.
I need to get on this new thing. Mind you, can we do the two-way hangouts through whatever it is you use?
All right, am I back?
Yeah.
Is that better? Yeah. Yeah. No, it's actually Google Hangouts that has this problem with certain mics. I checked it out, and apparently this whole robot thing, because I was thinking about this. I was like, why doesn't this happen when I stream? And it's because I don't use Google Hangouts, and it doesn't happen.
Just a quick question, because if they are getting rid of this software that we're using now, if I switch over to what you use, can we still do the two-way hangouts exactly the same like this?
It would be a bit different. Like, I think you'd either use this, but you'd capture that window in the program, or you could use like Skype and capture. I'd have to explain it to you.
Oh, okay. We'll do that some other time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens first. Yeah, we'll see what happens first, and then we'll work on it from there.
Let's have a look in the chat. David Morse, I think you should get a number plate for yours that says Tatmobile. Oh, from a trolley. Oh dear, I don't want to stand out any more than I already do.
Twin Dragons Brewery says, question, when did UPS start to charge to pick up Amazon orders from home? I thought they only do that if you don't enter your tracking number in the box, because I don't think they do charge unless you don't. You know, when you're getting your shipments picked up,
Yeah, I used to have them picked up, and then they started charging a couple of quid a box. And then I realised
Really?
there was a drop-off shop like
Yeah.
half a mile
Oh,
from my house, so I just dropped mine off now, and it's way more convenient because I can go at whatever time I like.
I swear I did one just the other day and they didn't charge me.
Oh, cool.
I think like, did you used to put your tracking reference in that box? There's a
I
box.
remember.
So when you're doing the shipment, I mean, I don't quote me on this, but I'm sure I didn't get charged 2 quid, otherwise I would have noticed. And the one time that screen did come up, I realized why it was. When you're actually booking your collection on the UPS website, um, there's a box which comes up that you have to enter, like in which you can enter your tracking number that would be printed out on your label.
Hmm.
And if you enter that, or if you've got a number of boxes, you just enter it with commas when you're scheduling the collection. If you do that, then you won't get charged.
Okay, I might try it.
That's
I've got this.
yeah.
I did a shipment yesterday, which was meant to go
I,
today, but we can't book that.
actually, if I don't know if I can screen share this because hold on, let me see if I can. Do. Okay. Let me just have a look at this because if I can, that'll be quite cool to show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While you're setting up, I was just reading in the chat. Kieran says if you're selling a serious amount of items, you need a Royal Mail PPI account. That's the sort of account I have. It certainly helps me, and it saved me money on my anything beyond large letter. I save a fair bit on.
Okay. You should be able to see my screen now.
Let me lock it onto you. Hold on. Go on.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yes.
So that's the scheduler collection screen that you will see, and it's in this box here that you just type in your the tracking reference off your label, and you can separate it with commas if you've got more than one box. And if you put that in when you enter in the rest and you go to next, you won't. I'm pretty certain you won't have to pay any. You won't have to pay anything. Okay, how do I stop screen sharing now? There we go. This is going to be interesting.
Whoa, you're strobing like mad there.
Okay.
I'll highlight it on me for a minute.
Yeah. There we go.
I think you're still screen sharing.
Am I? There you go. I'm not now.
Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, if you do that.
Well, people try that out during the week and let us know next week if that worked out for you. It is actually easier for me to drop mine off. It's literally around the corner and I can go when I'm popping out. You see what I mean? Rather than waiting in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could try it myself, I guess. Right, who else have we got popped in here? Caroline has popped in to say hello. Do people have a preference for basic or featured shop? Featured is more expensive, but I guess with more listings, it could be worth it. That's Simon. For me, it was about the numbers. I think the kind of sweet spot was about 500, and then it allowed me to switch to 10-day length listings, and then it didn't cost me any more. But I think you get a lot more exposure if you do it 10-day length. Are you doing 10 days here, or
I've been just doing 30-day, but I mean 10-day does work definitely from what I've noticed.
I think we've seen
you get it spikes. Yeah.
When we do a load of relists, we get a load of stuff picked off straight away. Just random gear will just go because we've just relisted it. So we're getting that spike 4 times a month rather than once. Yeah. And again, when those items are coming to their end, a load will get picked off because they are right at the top of the search.
So you're relisting like bunches and like quite large amounts at a time because they must all be ending at.
Yeah, and they all tend to bunch up as well because if you leave it a few days to relist and then you relist like 200 at a time or something, and then they will all end at the same time, and then we'll get another spike of sales. But yeah, it's working out well for us. And with the second tier store, you get a lot more free listings, so it then becomes financially economical to do it that way. So that's what we're still experimenting with. But we have very few listings. We're still around 500, so it's not masses and masses.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely does help, though. I mean, again, it's one of those things. It is hard to quantify, but there definitely does seem to be a situation where you do pick up more watches and things near the end of an item's life, near the end of a cycle. So obviously, if you did 10 days, then yeah, I mean, you could see that would increase further.
Yeah, we like it that way. I think it's helped us. So for the foreseeable future, we'll carry on 10-day cycles. We still use good till cancelled on stuff we've got multiples of, because you get that increased visibility the more items you sell off it, and that works really well. So that's how we're doing things. Peter Crawford mentions Royal Mail goes up end of March. Yeah, like clockwork. Peter Cummins says, what are we talking about today? Whatever whatever comes up, really. I did have a couple of other things I was going to mention. Something else arrived in the post today. I ordered a load of bits and bobs to make some of this electronics work, or to complete things. And I ordered this tiny little drive bell for that Cine projector.
Oh, cool.
So that's going to be a fun little project to get that running. I also picked up the other day a £1 GameCube game, because I lost my GameCube testing disc to test that damn machine. So I've got a wonderful copy of Tiger Woods. What year is it? 2004 for a quid. Just so I've got one. And then we've had another one of these returns, which is, I find these more annoying than a return because somebody just fancies returning something. Have you had many of these where people don't collect it? It's got the collect it from your local Royal Mail office, and they don't bother, so we end up having to send it out to them again or lose the sale. And
Yeah,
so we end up paying twice to ship a packet, and on a low value item you could lose all of your profit. You see what I mean?
yeah.
So frustrating. So that happened today, and we've had a few of those recently. People just either I got one of these because we were at the hospital when the postman tried to deliver it back to me. But people get these cards, they either don't know what they are or lose them or ignore them, and then the thing comes back to you, which is does my head in.
Pain. Yeah, I mean, I don't use Royal Mail that much, so
Yeah.
it's what I send through Royal Mail tends to fit through a letterbox. So in that sense, it's okay. But yeah, I mean, it can be frustrating when things like that happen. I mean, I've had a few people just cancel on me randomly. I was like really happy. I sold a Professor X action figure yesterday. It was meant to be going to France. Paid like 6-7 quid for the figure the guy paid, and then he paid like 12 quid for shipping. And then he decided he wanted to cancel it later in the night, and it was in big shouty capitals. It was one of those annoying. Yeah, that was annoying.
You
and then this
already though, no?
Huh?
You hadn't shipped it, and then he wanted to cancel.
No, luckily he hadn't shipped it, so it was okay. But then I had the same thing happen to me again today as well. And it was because a guy had bought like a toy till, like a tin vintage shop till thing. But it was only 7 inches by 7 inches, and you couldn't tell from the photos the size. So kind of my mistake, really. I should have put dimensions in somewhere. Because I did use the keyword, could use it as a prop, because the thing's just smashed up. Do you know what I mean? But you could still use it in a prop, or in like a play or something. But the guy then, after buying it, asked what the dimensions were, and it turned out that it was obviously way too small for what they needed it for. So I had to have that cancelled as well.
Yeah. So he thought it was a full size till.
Yeah, well, like an old tin one, yeah, but to use as a prop, yeah. And then to top it off, I had a decent price sale, and I'm still waiting payment. Yeah, so yeah, it's one of those.
I think I shared this story ages ago in a hangout, but a guy, a good friend of mine, he used to buy up stuff probably from Alibaba or wherever, and at one point he was buying these tiny little. They looked like a replica DS, but it was tiny, but it opened up and it was on a keyring, right?
Yeah.
You can see where this is going. But he used to sell them on eBay for only like 3 or 4 quid, little Nintendo replica DS keyrings. And one buyer, of course, bought one and then complained to hell, why have you sent me this tiny little DS? It doesn't even fit.
Such a tiny DS. Yeah.
So he thought it was buying a real DS, $2.99 or $3.99.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that is... But I think what's funny about that story is the fact that he didn't he thought you'd sent him like a different variation, like a tiny,
Yeah.
it wasn't like he still didn't clock that it was a key ring or something.
It's good to keep these stories in mind, because when you're writing listings, when you're doing titles, when you're doing descriptions, remember how dumb some people are. You really have to cater for the whole spectrum of intelligence. You see what I mean? Like when I said, well, I sold off some 40 stuff, put 40 in every sentence
And people will
and in the
buy
title, because people just assume things, or they like with your till, he assumed it was this big and it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. When you're, it's not even necessarily to say people are thick. I think it's just, I don't know. I think people
Some
just.
are, some really.
Oh, no, I'd like to give people more credit than that, Nick. I'm gonna be positive about it. Be like, it's not that. I think it's just, I genuinely think that sometimes people just don't necessarily read things now. They're too busy. They see something, they like it, and it's so easy to just buy things now, isn't it? And also, I feel that especially with online sales, that it is moving to a situation where people are expecting to have stuff shipped to them. I mean, like big clothes companies will automatically send people return shipping bags in case they don't like the clothes that they've bought, so they can return them. So I think people just expect that safety now, and they buy without worry anymore.
The level of service people are coming to expect is going
really
up all the
high,
time, which overall is a good thing, because it's encouraging this online shopping revolution to just keep growing. And overall, that's going to be a good thing for all of us, because it will just keep expanding. And the generation that's coming up will just be shopping more and more online, but they will expect more.
Higher and higher service, definitely. RuneScape Mers has actually said the same thing, around the same thing. He asked the question, does anyone else ever get the whole, sorry, my son bid on this item? I mean, it's all the time.
And we're having at the moment a buyer who's giving us the whole, my dog's been ill and I've got to pay 500 vet bills. I'll pay. We've already waited like best part of half a month, I think, for payment on something that they made an offer on. We accepted a low offer, and they're still stringing us out with this whole ill dog story.
Well, that's
it might well be true, but you hear it so many times. It's like, how many dogs are ill all the time?
I think what's worse is, like, I sometimes, especially if it's a high value item that I'm eager to get relisted, I'll actually give a potential non-paying buyer a get out clause. So I'll kind of message them and say to them, hi there, as soon as I receive payment, I'll be able to ship the item out. Alternatively, if you've had a change of mind, etc., let me know so that I can cancel the item immediately, cancel the sale immediately. And that way, sometimes it prompts them. I know you shouldn't kind of give people that, but sometimes when someone's just messing you around. But once I actually had a guy that I gave a get out clause to, and they're like, no, we really want this item and we'll definitely pay you for it. And it ended up that the item, I wasn't able to list it for like 2 weeks just because of these people that were just stringing the whole thing out. And in the end, they didn't buy it. They didn't pay for it.
Oh my God, really?
That's the worst. Yeah. I mean, that's the worst. That was like,
there's nothing worse than being strung along. You just, it winds me up. Just tell me straight, you don't want the item. It's so much easier. We'll just deal with it.
You've got some support from Illinois Picker, who says that is so true.
Again, but you've got.
Oh, have I gone Dalek again? Oh,
yeah, you've gone Dalek. I was just going to say a couple more hellos. I saw Joe, who goes by my Pack Rat in there. Hi, Joe.
All right. Yeah, I was just going to say, Illinois Picker backs you up, says, it is so true. Some people are dumber than a box of rocks, and that is insulting the rocks. So, I mean.
Yeah. There were pictures going around. Somebody else had the whole Monopoly board thing a week or so back on Facebook.
Oh, with the folding board?
Folding board with a rip down the middle. And I've just listed, or I might have sent it to FBA, I can't remember, another one with it in. And it just made me chuckle when I was checking it, just to see this board that was cut down the middle. But that guy was adamant I had ripped the board and I had sent it to him. It's like, oh my word. The funny thing about that is there's no physical way of folding those boards up without the rip.
You have to fold it, yeah. It's obvious. Yeah, you'd think it was obvious. CP Crafts and More has just worked out that that they will keep the basic shop unless they go up to 543 plus items.
Right.
So if anyone wants to kind of have like an idea of when to, because that's often a question that you hear, isn't it? When should I get a shop?
A bit how long your length of listing is, and how it works out economically for you. I think, you know what I mean. What the length of listing and how often you're relisting.
Oh right, yeah.
You need to work it out for your own situation, and you know, make it an economic decision more than anything. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Bit of talk about what people use. Talking about PPI business accounts. People saying, what's that? Caroline saying that she uses Hermes for most of her parcels, similar to user here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've not had any issues with them really. I mean, I've had issues, but when you say you've had issues, when I say I have not had any issues with them, I suppose what I mean is I don't have any issues with them. I have had issues with them, but overall, I don't have a problem with using them because the amount of issues I've had is tiny. So that's how I'd put it. Considering the amount of parcels I've sent using the service, I can't complain, even though I have complained.
And to be honest, any carrier you use, if you're going to send any sort of volume of stuff, you will encounter issues, no matter who you use, because none of them are perfect.
Exactly.
And I use Hermes for particularly bulky or large stuff, and I've had, I think, one big problem with them, and that was it. And I've been using them for years now.
Oh, good question from Vinny.
Oh yeah.
What's the best pancake topping?
Oh, I'm kind of old school. I like to go sugar and lemon.
Sugar and lemon. I've got to say, I love sugar and lemon. Sometimes I will go for the maple syrup when I'm feeling sweet tooth. But
Nutella.
Yeah. Oh no, that's too. See, that because my daughters love Nutella, but no,
Not
it becomes
too much,
a bit.
Though. You don't want to go overboard on it. Just a little spread. Oh,
Steve's going for. Steve's going for.
Andrew and Ellen have gone to their nans and they're having an evening of pancakes.
Are they?
Oh man, I'm hungry now.
We're getting a lot of support for lemon and sugar. We have got Steve Green's choosing lemon and sugar. Kieran James saying lemon, sugar and fresh orange. Daz is lemon and sugar as well.
Orange, that's a new one.
Hixie is in the chat. Hi Hixie, he goes for sugar lemon as well.
I'm way behind on all of this.
Yeah, Phoebe's going for chocolate spread and banana. Yeah, Lonnie's taking the mick with Marmite. Surely no one does that. Heather says blueberries. Kirsten's Curiosity says ice cream and golden syrup. That is quite sweet sounding, but you know, Dad says he's surprised that I don't.
Rush and a half and ice cream and golden syrup. I'd be high as a kite after
that. I think I might have to go and get some pancakes tomorrow now. It's
that'd be a good live stream.
Yeah. I know the day is today, but screw it. Who says you can only have pancakes on Pancake Day?
Maple syrup and blueberry.
Oh, that sounds nice. Maple syrup and blueberry. Yeah.
That's class, that is.
Banana syrup and cream there. Sugar, lemon, banana. Oh, that's some real combinations
here, like cookery chats.
I know Hixie's taking the mix, salt and vinegar. That's for crisps.
Lemon curd. That, yeah, maybe.
I like lemon curd on toast, actually.
Yeah,
that reminds me. I love a bit of lemon curd. Probably be on a deal tomorrow, see? What, the pancakes?
Ready-made pancake batter. You get it.
He says chili sauce. I put chili sauce on pretty much everything, but I would have to draw the line at pancakes. Because, you know,
I'm hopefully going to see Steve very soon. He's heading down my way, so.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, with a bit of
LGG says pancakes and coffee sauce. You know what? A coffee sauce, like some kind of there is actually like a syrup that you put on coffee drinks. Can't remember what it's called. God. But yeah, anyway, we're moving off topic.
Before we change that, I don't know if you know, Zia, but I cannot stand coffee. I've never mentioned it because I'm scared to. But
no, you've never said it like that before. No, I
can't. I can't stand the taste. I can't eat coffee cakes or coffee sweets. Oh no.
I suppose this will be our last hangout together then.
That's maybe the end of the relationship right there.
This is it. I think you've not mentioned this before. Really?
Oh damn it! Yeah. I've never been able to drink coffee.
No, it's not for everybody, is it? It's not.
I still enjoy listening to you like enthused about it though. I love anyone that's passionate about it.
I think the core thing with coffee and tea, to be honest, is you can be a geek about it. I think that's what you know, like it appeals to that geeky nature as well. I mean, you know, there's a reason why there's like such a big market for it. There's a reason why idiots like myself will put a 20-kilo commercial coffee grinder on their kitchen side while their wives are going, "What are you doing?" You know, it's that geek factor as well. It adds to the whole thing.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
I'll go tickly cough again.
Ooh.
I might have to go and fill up my glass in a minute. I think they're still talking about pancakes. Oh no, we're on to coffee now.
God,
Adam says R.I.P. Tat Chat. All over.
It's alive. Mickey Moose, just to try to bring things back onto the reselling side of things. You know, you're right there, Nick.
I'm gonna go grab some water.
Yeah.
Back in a sec.
All right. No worries. Okay. Mickey Moose asks, have you guys ever bought job lots from house clearance companies? I wonder if it might be worth buying bulk with a view to listing the cream and disposing the rest. I've not done that. I mean, I'm not sure if I'd want to do that either, because like you said, you'd have to then, you know, come out with like a waste disposal permit, because if you're going to be buying from a house clearance company, you know, to get the nice stuff, they're also going to get rid of stuff. They're not going to just let you buy small boxes of things. Sometimes they're going to say to you like, okay, if you want this bunch of stuff, it's going to come with that mattress over there and whatnot. And then when you're consistently ending up with bunches and bunches of stuff that you need to tip, you're going to need to look at getting some kind of a disposal license, because your local tip will soon cotton on that you're not just bringing in regular waste when you've got buckets of it. So I don't know. I mean, having a contact with a house clearance company or a guy would be amazing, because they often come across some, you know, they're at source, as it were, aren't they? They're at the source. So that's what I would say to that from Mickey Moose. Cool. What do you reckon, Nick, about house clearance companies? Like, would you ever make a deal with them where you buy, you know, you buy in bulk from them and then dispose of the junk to sell the good stuff?
Potentially. I mean, yeah, you'd have to trust them, because they could just offload whatever they wanted on you, couldn't they?
Or they would give you some good stuff, but with the job of getting rid of some really bulky junk.
I wouldn't rule it out. It would. Yeah, you'd have to kind of see how it goes and see what comes your way. But
or maybe, yeah, I would just see, like, you know, try to just, you know, make some contacts like that is great. I mean, let us know what you do, Mickey Moose. That would be interesting to know. Matt Morris has a question. What do you think of Helen Corey's Reseller road trip? Good idea. I was hoping that we'd be able to bump into them, but I didn't get in touch with them, because I think they're around this area today. But I think it sounds.
They're gone.
I think so. It just sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, I think they themselves have said they're not sure. You know, they're going to have to make a hell of a lot of money to even pay for the costs. But I think they're doing it more for the fun of it, by the sounds of it. It looks like a lot of fun.
From a purely business standpoint, I'm not sure it's the best use of time and resources, because if you think you've got to pay for 2 people to stay in a hotel every night, and the fuel and eating out because you're away from home every day, so you've got to cover. We did watch the video one evening. I think they were saying that their cost might be £70 a day. So to think you've got to cover that in secondhand stuff, profit you're going to make on it after fee, cover £70 a day in order to make X amount beyond that. I'm not sure it's really a business decision, but if you're going because you want to go traveling and finding the stuff is funding the traveling, then yeah, why not? But it's not going to be much of a holiday, because we've gone out on proper hardcore sourcing days where we'll do a couple of towns, or we'll hit a big city like Cambridge. And that's hard work. It's graft. It's a lot of being on the ball and looking at hundreds and hundreds of items in every shop after shop. is not a holiday. That's a lot of work. So this is a 9-day working spree, really.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what they want to get out of it, but I think it sounds like more of a fun thing. I mean, it can be done profitably, as has been shown out in the States, if you're doing like FBA and you're traveling around picking up lots of retail arbitrage stock, sending that in on the move. So you can do it. The other way I would think it could be done would be if you were traveling around to auctions, and you were looking to spend out at auctions, because then you could, there's auctions all over the country. You could do like a tour of a few auction houses, as long as you had like a big enough van, and as long as you were going there, to buy some stuff, basically. Because then obviously
the concern with that you touched on would be storage. Because if you're going to auctions, you'll be
you might be stacking up on stuff.
Job lots and stuff.
Actually, there's also I think there's a lady called Cat Rants that messaged on either, I think it was on our Facebook page or on one of the videos. I think it was on one of the YouTube videos that we did, but what it was interesting. Yeah, it was the Jumble sale. That was it. The lady called Cat Rants. So shout out to you, Cat, if you're out there watching or listening. She said there could be a business plan in just traveling around the country to different Jumble sales. When you consider how cheap the clothing is, again, as long as you were going for the blue whale plankton feeding approach, if you were turning up a Jumble sale and literally just going, yes, that table in that bag, and then because you could literally go every weekend to a Jumble sale, even if it was miles and miles away, and you could potentially make a killing on.
I'm not sure how logistically you would be able to find them. We find it hard enough to find them locally.
They're very hard to find. I was thinking if you did some research in all your local counties, going into their Facebook groups I think the best thing might be to find the list of churches in the local counties, and then going onto each one of their websites and looking at their events to see if they've posted anything up there. Go onto their Facebook pages to see if they've posted in. I mean, you'd have to do a bit of research, but you never know.
An interesting question would be, how far would you travel to go to a Jumble sale? And guys in the chat, how far would you think it is economical to travel to a Jumble? We go to one that's about 20 miles away, I think, maybe a bit less than that. And that has paid off every time.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think if you're going with clothes, if you're happy to buy clothes, I wouldn't recommend going there if you're looking to get electronic bargains, etc., because they tend to be like 10% from what I've seen of Jumble sales anyway. The electronics, the media, it tends to be a very small segment. The majority of it is just tables and tables full of clothes. And if you're willing to get in there amongst everyone, try to win your spot at a table, and that in itself is a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Andrea doesn't like the whole scrummage. It's like a rugby scrum, isn't it? Especially with the clothing.
Oh yeah.
So I think she's battling to try and get over that fear of being like this up at the stall for the clothing.
I mean, Beck has the same issue, but the thing with Beck is she sees it and she ends up seeing it as a challenge because she's quite small. She gets barged a lot, but she gets in there. Like she becomes more and more stubborn. So like she'll get the elbows, but she'll stand around, and it's actually quite funny to see.
Stand around. There's some comments coming back in. 20 to 30 miles, says Matt. 15 to 20, Lewis. So yeah, people are thinking that's reasonable distance. 20 to 30 for Mads.
I think. Well, Heather there, look at the other side of the coin. I traveled to Portland to the Goodwill outlet 300 miles.
Holy cow.
That just puts things into perspective, guys. And this is what I say to my family as well, because they haven't visited me. And I'm like, I'm up the road when you think about it. It's not that far. Like
we have a very different sense of scale in this country.
We do.
Our fuel is way more expensive.
That's the other thing. Exactly. I mean, if I drive down to London, which I would do for some of the auctions and boot fairs, whatever. If there was if I was looking to do that, I would. But yeah, you're right. It would cost a lot in petrol, a lot. So that is a severe kicker.
Just looking back to see if we missed any interesting topics we could touch on. So a new viewer by the look of it, Charlene Bars. Hello, I watch every week but never chat. Oh, right. So welcome to the chat. We are currently trying to sell our stuff in the house and then go dive into reselling. Wish us luck. Well, good luck. I always say that's a great way to start because we all have crap in our houses we don't need or don't use, and it's basically free stuff that you can experiment with and, you know, get your account going. So it's a great way to start. Build up your account a bit, get some experience. Right, let's scroll back down.
Peter Crawford says you can claim 45p a mile against tax. Yeah, obviously that is something you could do. So, you know, I mean, I know of people that do literally travel around auctions all over the country to pick up stuff, because we've all seen it. I mean, when you're looking for stuff, there's always seems to be a really great auction hundreds of miles away. But you know, and like you said, if you're willing to claim it back, you're right. That would take a huge chunk of that cost out of it.
Well, Pensacola Picker's got a good comment, actually. We visit family 400 miles away. We plan several sourcing stops along the way and come home with a carload. So if you can build it in, to be honest,
Exactly.
If Andrea and I take a day out to the coast, we know it's going to involve charity shops and destination, if not places along the way. And Ellen just sort of rolls her eyes and goes along with it.
Yeah.
How are your kids finding the whole sourcing? Do they go sourcing with you? I can't remember.
They don't go to the boot fairs with us as that often. They will on the odd occasion when they fancy something. So, but the cool thing is, even though they're not that into going to the boot fairs, they will come along with us to the charity shops if we take them. They prefer not to if they can stay up. You know, if they can get out of going, they will prefer not to. But most of the time, we take them with us. But the best thing about it is they've learned what's available to them, even if it's just for themselves. You know, so it's not like a stigma or anything like that. You know, because sometimes, especially at school age, you know, kids are vicious, they're brutal, aren't they? And I think it's quite cool that, you know, my kids are not like afraid to, you know, I don't think they'll broadcast it probably at school, but then they don't have any issues with wearing clothes that we pick up from boot fairs or jumbles or charity shops. And it's like, again, we talk about this quite often. It's part of our lifestyle. You know, it's we wouldn't be able to, you know, buy the amount of clothes or etc. You know,
I really think having parents that work for themselves and, you know, are really kind of in touch with the money that comes in, your children can relate money to work so much easier, maybe because they see it firsthand, you know, how much we have to do to earn X, Y, and Z. And I think it's a good life lesson that they can see that.
And it's always sweet sometimes when you get like a question, "Oh, how's it going?" You know, like they ask that, you know, they show a little bit of interest, which is quite sweet sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's just they're pretty, but they've seen it for quite a while now. So
I've just got to touch on a question. David Cooper says, Nick, you didn't answer the big question asked before. How did you test the breast pump? Well, it wasn't as fun as you may imagine. All we did to test that it was creating a vacuum was just create a vacuum with our hand. I'm afraid it's as dull as that, and we could feel the vacuum on it. And
you've ruined everyone's fun.
I've ruined it. Yeah. You can imagine other things if you like. Falling on a bruise. I'm stuffed with my travel phobia. Oh, that's not great if you want to travel and pick up stuff. Yeah.
That would work against you. Kevin McLeod says hi. He's been watching the iPad, just joining the chat now. Let's have a look. Kirsten Curiosity says my kids roll their eyes at the whole reselling thing, and Vinny says yeah. I mean, you're gonna get, you know, and actually the Hillsman says, I'm surprised you have not got Ellen packing your orders yet, Nick.
Ellen doesn't get involved. It's all she's ever known. We started this pretty much full time as she was born, so she's never known anything but us reselling stuff, and she doesn't bat an eyelid at that. She rolls her eyes at this YouTube. She rolls her eyes at the fact that I you know, talk about it a lot. I'm on here a lot, and you know, she finds that hard to deal with. But
Yeah, but
really,
you can.
that's all
Yeah,
she.
but you can just be like 11K subs. You know.
How many have you got,
Yeah,
Ellen?
yeah. Who's cool now?
I am so not cool. I am the most uncool dad.
Oh, the sub count says otherwise, Nick. You can just use that. That's the asset. Um, there's a good question actually here from Darren. What would be your advice on upscaling your business if you had limited storage space for stock, quick flips, or fulfillment? Bit
Yeah,
of both.
interesting. Limited space. The obvious answer to limited space is to be really focused on small stuff. Sounds simple, but if you can get into jewelry or Lego, which is great for that, parting out Lego, I don't know, then you don't have so many issues with space. But I mean, fulfillment, if you can earn enough through Amazon, you don't have to store anything. So yeah, I'd say experiment with both of those ideas, or renting space.
David Cooper says good answer, but we don't believe you. I'm guessing that's in relation to the
With
press
press
pump.
It's the only answer you're getting. Question: anyone use Mikari?
I think that's meant to be Macari, or I
don't know
think
what that is.
I've heard of it, but I've heard it on the US channels. I've not heard of it over here. I think it's just an alternative platform to sell in.
Ellen is 15. I just had a question come in. So she's in full-on stroppy teenager mode. Question: do you think you could just stay at home flipping from eBay to make good money? Undoubtedly, yes. There are people that do it, as in source from eBay and sell on eBay.
Definitely, yeah.
You could. I think it would be a lot of work, and you would have to be super, super efficient and super, super organized, which I'm not. So I don't know if I could make that work. But I know, I mean, Ken always used to talk about he would snipe job lots of militaria stuff, break it down and sell it on, and he made good profits doing that. So that's one example. It's about, I think that would come down to maybe learning a niche really, really well. Somebody was talking about doing it with Sylvanian families recently. If you know and you can spot in a bundle a family that's worth a load of money, buy that bundle up and then, you know, sell them off individually. You can make good money. You can do that with trading cards and all sorts of other stuff. So it's about, all will come down to knowledge, I guess, or picking up local collection. But then that's not just staying at home and flipping, is it? So yeah, I think there's scope there. Yeah, people are agreeing with one of the suggestions I said to Darren about concentrating on small things would help the storage issue.
Okay. Matt Morris says my kids don't really like the boot sales, but I get my daughter to ask prices on stuff to get a sneaky discount, as she's only 6 and very cute.
Yeah, I've heard this technique before. Ellen is, yeah, she was helpful, I think, way back when she'd be in a pushchair or whatever, and you'd spark up that conversation about stuff. But yeah, I've heard other people mention this though. Get your kids to haggle.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does work. Although the problem I've got is if my daughter asks something, it tends to be because it's going to be for her.
I was going to say that, keep
Yeah.
it anyway.
Yeah, it's like exactly. She's and you're not going to get her to really go and make a deal on like some vintage hi-fi, are you? You're only ever going to do it on toys, and you're going to make. The problem is it's going to be you're not going to get her to go and buy a bunch of Ninja Turtles either. You know you're going to at least. It depends on the kid, I suppose, but yeah, like my daughter's
limited. You're limited to
girly, and yeah, I mean, I had to do some major league trading with my youngest to get hold of the those Barbies that I sold. I think I had to give her like 10 dolls. So
yeah, Texas just said to give us a thumbs up if you enjoy it. We haven't mentioned that. How are we doing? We've got 159, 160 now viewers, which is
Wow, 160. That is
thanks for
pretty.
popping in, everybody. I can't see the thumbs up.
44 thumbs up at the moment.
All right, 44. So yeah, if you enjoy what we get up to, give us a thumbs up to let us know. I just saw an interesting question. Would you ever pack your items? Oh, we've had this before. Would you ever pack up your items after you list it? So get it packed up and ready and put it on the shelf. My answer is always no to this, mainly for the reason that I've had this only because I've had items returned. I kind of know what it is, so I leave it packed in the shelf. And I guarantee if that happens and I think, oh, I'll relist that because it's come back to me, just put it on the shelf ready to go. Somebody will ask me a question about that item. That means I have to open the box. And that's my kind of problem with listing stuff and then packing it up and putting it in storage. Because if somebody asks you a detail about, I don't know, whatever it would be, and you need to measure an item or look at something in detail, you've got to unpack it anyway.
I think this was something that Rebecca was thinking about, because I think she saw someone had packed away clothes in carrier bags, like in sealed bags. So things like that are quite good because you could leave those bags open. So if someone did ask you a question, it would be a case of just popping in there, grabbing it out of the bag, and then put it back in. So if you're dealing with a lot of high volume stuff like that, if you're going to have a lot of it, and clothes need to be compressed because they can spread out. However, most other items are the opposite. Whereas if you package those up, not only have you got the risk that Nick talked about having to unpack something to check a question that you hadn't anticipated, but you're going to be taking up a hell of a lot more space.
Yeah.
If you've got like a small CD player, for example, which is like worth 50 quid, on its own, it's a slim, compact device that you can just shove in a box with all your other small compact electronics. As soon as you pack that for shipping, you're going to pack it well because you don't want it to get damaged in transit. So you're going to have some thick bubble wrap, some card around it, and suddenly this thing is now like a small box, and you're going to just run out of space so quickly. So if you only carry a certain amount of items, I know that Bonafide Hustler does this. He actually packs things up pretty much as soon as, but he doesn't necessarily hold, from what I can tell, a great amount on eBay. He is very much focused on the Amazon side of things.
Another thing is that I like to have the flexibility of changing my mind and sending stuff up to Amazon. You know what I mean? Or after something's run for a couple of cycles, I might change my mind and bundle it with something else or break it down. And also recently I had a collection of books by one author. A guy in Australia messaged me and said, I only want, I think it was 12 out of the 16 or something, and made me an offer on that, which I was happy with. So I just, agreed to that offer, and I've relisted the others as a smaller bundle. So yeah, there's lots of variants on that, but it's not something I'm going to do. Anne Hamilton has mentioned drop shipping, I think, as an answer to Darren's query about not having much space. Drop shipping I get asked about a lot. I've never got involved with it. I don't have a problem with it. It just doesn't suit me. It doesn't suit what I do. Oh, I just had another sale.
Sweet.
Cool. Product I don't particularly want to talk about. Not that it's a bad product or anything, it's just something I don't share. Question. Have a basic shop. Do you think it's worth getting? Oh, the chat just jumped then. Oh. Why does it do that? It suddenly jumps down. Oh, I've lost that now.
What was the question from?
I found it again. Raz, I have a basic shop. Do you think it's worth getting the next shop level started? Oh, we kind of covered this earlier. If you work out, you can quite simply work out the maths by the offers that you get or how many free listings you get. If you work out how many listings you're putting on in a month or how many times you're relisting them, then you can work out at what point it becomes economical to you, offsetting the cost of it against the benefits and the free listings. So just work it out for your situation and how you're doing things.
Oh, Pensacola Picker has actually said check out Dorky Thrifter's YouTube channel. She does eBay out of a camper van, and Tex says she's great, Pensacola. So Dorky Thrifters might be someone to add to the ever-growing list of people
Yeah, I
to
think
watch.
I've watched some of those actually.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Doing eBay out of a camper sounds pretty cool.
Was that
Sounds-
the lady who tragically her husband passed away last year? Was that them? Somebody let me know in the comments. The name rings a bell. I think it was. Right. How are we doing for time? Oh, we've nearly been going. Oh, we have. Yeah, hour and 5 minutes. So we'll wrap it up soon. Don't want to keep you lot from your busy lives. Read about a man that made good cash from car scrap yards. You two ever tried car parts? I've dabbled, but not actively looking for them. I picked up bits and bobs when I found them. Some have gone really well, and some have been almost a waste of time. So the trouble with that is I'm not a car person, and I know my knowledge is so limited that it's not. And it's cars don't excite me, and car parts certainly don't excite me. So I'm not actively going to source them. Let's see if anyone answered my question. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was the Dorky Thrifters. The husband passed away sadly last year.
Oh.
So
question about your Okay, question, Nick. Did you sell that game behind you, or did you mention it earlier? Oh, Pig Pong.
Oh no, that's just one I was checking. No, it's not been sold. I was just looking at it. Something I picked up a while back actually. I need a part or two to complete it, which is frustrating.
Huh.
Oh, there's a mention of my board game again. It's been well over a year since I mentioned that. I haven't given it any time. It's not that I don't want to. It will come out of hibernation at some point. It's like anything. We all have a limited amount of hours in the day, and it's not been my priority. And yeah, I don't know quite how to get that to the next point. That for people who don't know what I'm talking about, I designed a board game, me and my nephew together, and I was hoping at some point to maybe try and get it into production, but it's so much work just to get that off the ground. So I don't know if or when that will ever happen. Right, how are we doing, Zahir? Should we wrap this up for the week now?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've had a good chat. It's been quite busy in there. Lots of people have smashed the like button as well, which is fantastic.
Oh, did they? Where did we get to?
We're on 77.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, I really appreciate you popping in and into the chat, everybody. We managed to answer some questions. Keep up with it for once.
Yeah, we kept. I think I was ahead of it a bit, and then yeah, we kind of covered the chat well. We're getting better at it.
Hyperpick has just said about pig pong. If it's just the puff balls, as long as you have some, it should sell. It has the puff balls, but I can't remember what it was missing. I'll have to look again.
Nick, go on Dragon's Den with your board game, says the Hillsman 25.
Yeah, can you imagine? So they'll go, how many have you sold? No. have you got it in any high street stores? No, I haven't made a,
And what's stopping me stealing your idea and making it?
Yes,
that's
Is it copyrighted? No. Yeah. How much have you invested in it? Oh, about £5. Can't see that happening.
I'll offer you 100%.
Thank you so much, Zahir, for chatting with me. We do have a special guest on next week. I will keep that a mystery until we go live next Tuesday at 6. So until then, thanks for everyone popping in. Thanks for your questions. And thanks, Zahir, for chatting with me.
No problem at all. See you later.
Take it easy, guys.